How is it going, guys? Long time. Back from holiday. I was away for my birthday, celebrating with my missus. We had a great time in Lanzarote, and now I'm back. So that means I need to get uploading. So quite a few things I want to be updating you guys on with regards to my training. What you're seeing now was the end of week 8. So this was day 2, my bench press session. So this was actually in London. We flew out on the Wednesday morning. So this was my last session, or I guess my last session before we went away. And I'll be very honest as well with this video, hence why it's quite long, because obviously one, there's a lot of footage to get in, but then number two, there's a few things that I also confess. With this current training block, especially as we're getting closer and closer to European Championships in June, it's been a journey where I've really just had to work around my injuries as best I can. I don't want to make no excuses. I don't want to set myself up for failure as of such, or downplay anything, but it's been a very interesting experience for me, even though I've been powerlifting now for 10 years. You always go through ups and downs, but this is definitely the first time where I've been in a place where I'm definitely improving with my injury for sure. And the best way I could probably describe it is I'm probably at my strongest at my worst, albeit with going for rehab and having to adjust my training program. I then had this weird virus that I had lost about 4 kilos in 3 days, and then having to slowly get back into that. And I remember even a few weeks after, even I wasn't really at my best. And as you can see here now, actually, this was my last set, 142 kilos. I had it, but my body was just nah, that's all we're giving you today. And all my warm-up sets prior to that felt really, really good. Whereas before, it would always be the reverse. I generally kind of know what I'm capable of doing, and sometimes surpassing that, as opposed to feeling good but then not necessarily performing at my best, or I guess not letting my work show how I feel. So I've had to train, or rather learn how to train very reserved, just take the little steps, and as long as you're moving forward, that's the aim. And it will be very telling to see how it feels on the day of competition. But it's been a very interesting prep so far, but I'm definitely just relishing the journey nonetheless, because this is, like I said, part of the process. You can't always expect to be at your best. There will be times where you will be challenged. There will be times where you'll be going through injuries. You'll be going through things in life that will mess you up, whether it be physically, mentally. But you still have to keep going, and that's a massive motto of mine. So we conclude day 2, as you saw there, my bench, and then I did my rows. Then this is us on holiday. So we still managed to train. That was always going to be the plan, especially where I'm still in prep. And we managed to find some really, really cool gyms. So it was again a very, very, very pleasant experience to just train abroad. I'm always looking forward to seeing where we can train, what type of facilities we train in, and just the vibe. So it was very good. So this was day 3. The aim here was to lift as if I can do more. And what I mean by that is just saving plenty in the tank, especially when you're on the travels, in terms of your routine, you haven't necessarily got the things that you normally do at home. So in this case, I just wanted to make sure I was able to, again, just lift what I could, and move it really well. So it was supposed to be a top set. No, sorry, we were doing our sets. This is set 3 of 4 sets. So I did 190. I believe this might have been 3 or 2. I'm not too sure. I think it might have been 2. So I just wanted to make sure that I can do this again, because in my mind I wanted to work up to a top set of at least 200 or 210. But I thought, you know what, 190 felt heavy. So let me do it again. So then in my mind I'm like, cool. It's almost like I'm giving myself a false sense of satisfaction, just to be like, cool, I could have definitely done more. So I just wanted to be like, cool, let me nip it in the bud for 2 sets. And the last set actually moved, for me anyway, moved a lot better than my 3rd set. So I was very happy with that. Then we move on to the RDLs. I love this bit here. Yeah, it was a good vibe. It was a good vibe in this gym. Really, really enjoyed training here. Oh, sorry, before my RDLs, I actually was doing this exercise that my physio threw in my program, just to kind of add some plyos into the mix, try to build up that elasticity back into my ligaments and tendons, and just also just be a better human being, being still able to jump around and be explosive despite obviously training for strength. Then we move over to the snatch grip RDL. So again, kept it very reserved. This was 130 kilos, I believe, for 10 repetitions. In my mind, I would have loved to get anything between 140. The aim was to get 160 at some point in my training plan. I'm not too sure I'll be able to do that now, especially with the last few weeks before my competition, but I'll definitely probably keep this in the program, because it's been helping me a lot just to develop my posterior chain, in particular with the snatch grip as well. So that was fine, absolutely fine. Then we did some back off sets of 10 reps again. So I did 130 in my top set, and I think this might have been 100 kilos or 90 kilos. I think it might have been 90 kilos, maybe 100 actually. Can't remember too well, to be honest with you. Feels like so long ago, even though it was just last week. But it was definitely a lot easier, and again, that was the aim. Didn't want to fatigue myself too much, and again, we're on holiday, so I definitely just wanted to prioritize getting the work done, but then also enjoying ourselves without fully fatiguing myself. Then we move over to this would be day 4 actually. So this would be to conclude week 8. We train in this very small PT studio gym. Despite having the basics, I won't lie, it wasn't the best equipped, but it had the necessary, so I was able to still do what I needed to do. So that was a top set of the incline bench press, or rather my last set on the incline bench press. I think I did 100 kilos for 2 reps, nice and easy. And the bench unfortunately couldn't recline all the way to the top, or in this case couldn't go all the way to the top as an incline. So I had to just make do by sitting down and just bracing that core nice and tight. So this was a top set of 50 kilos for 10 repetitions. Again, just keeping it nice and easy. I've done, I think, 70 with back support, so 50 kilos was absolutely fine. And then this was my last set of my back offs. And again, just working through the repetitions, making sure that I don't overdo it, and thankfully that was the case. So yeah, really appreciate watching, guys. Plenty more to come. Week 9 on the way, and as always, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.